Okay guys, so I thought I would do a video on supplements because I just got back from Holland and Barrett and I picked up three supplements that I think are probably one of the few ones that people can benefit from using. Now, it might surprise you to learn that actually the majority of supplements that you'll see on the shelves when you go into a shop like Holland and Barrett are completely not evidence based at all. And by that I mean there is pretty much no scientific literature or no good scientific literature to show that this stuff actually works. 99% of the supplement industry is marketing, just marketing, and there's really only a handful of ones that work, have been proven to work over a long period of time, and that people could actually benefit from using. So, that being said, there are a few ones that I think are pretty good and that most people could probably benefit from including if they want to spend a little bit of extra money on this stuff. So the first one that I got here is just your standard whey protein supplement. So this is gold standard. It's a pretty good one that Optimum Nutrition do. If you're going to buy whey protein, you're going to want to make sure you're getting a good quality brand, because otherwise you're going to end up, you're just going to get shortchanged basically. There's a few good brands out there. Optimum Nutrition would be one of the better ones. My Protein as well, another brand with a really good reputation. The other thing as well is if you start looking around for cheap brands that don't have as solid a track record, especially if you're an athlete, you can risk getting a supplement that's contaminated basically with potentially banned substances, especially if you get into all that weird pre-workout stuff. So whey protein, I wouldn't really consider whey protein so much of a supplement so much as a meal replacement, because you're really not getting anything in this that you can't already get from food, okay? Or at least from animal sources of food. So in case you're not aware, all that whey protein is actually the leftovers of the dairy making process. I think that it's specifically the cheese making process. So you essentially get these clumps of protein called whey protein that are left over at the end of that dairy processing, and then somewhere along the line some genius realized that you could actually sell this stuff to bodybuilders or other fitness enthusiasts for a pretty penny. Now this stuff is got a ridiculous markup, considering that they're really just taking the leftovers of a process they're already using to make cheese and dairy, and then selling tubs of this stuff for sort of €30 plus. I think this cost me €40. If you keep an eye on sales and stuff like that, you can get some good deals online. But yeah, so basically with whey protein, why would you buy this? Really more for convenience sake than anything. So if somebody was to ask me, is it necessary to be taking whey protein? No. But if you're somebody who struggles to get in enough protein during the day, then this is a really easy way to throw it into a shake or yogurt or porridge or something like that, just to give you a little bit of extra protein during the day. For example, sometimes I have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning or something like that to go and train somebody, and I don't want to be getting up a half an hour earlier to have to make a full breakfast. So it's really easy to just throw that into a NutriBullet or whatever kind of blender with a banana or some other fruit, a bit of milk, a bit of oats, and then I can kind of be sipping on that for the first hour when I'm in work, and it saves me some time in the morning. Likewise, if you've got a really long shift, so you're only going to get a few minutes in between, you can bring a shake along, and it sort of acts as a meal replacement. So whey protein, really highly recommended if you struggle to get enough protein, which most people do. Okay, so that's the whey protein. I've got two more. Second one, creatine. Okay, so creatine monohydrate. A lot of people really think that this stuff is dangerous, and nothing could be further from the truth. creatine is probably the most thoroughly researched supplement that's out there on the market. One of the very few ones, as I said, that actually has quite a bit of scientific backing behind it. Numerous studies have been done, meta-analyses, systematic reviews over the course of many years, and there has never been shown to be any harm from taking this. The only category of people who potentially could be at risk of doing some kind of damage to their kidneys, which is a really common claim that gets leveled against this stuff. The only people who'd be at risk of that would be someone who has like a really serious kind of kidney condition. But other than that, the average healthy person, creatine monohydrate can be pretty useful. So what is it? So in your body, you have a few different energy systems. Now, these energy systems are all being used at the same time, but they tend to be used to a different degree. By that I mean like one might be being used more than the other depending on what activity you're doing. So whenever we are doing something like resistance training, so lifting weights, or if you're doing another sort of high intensity, short duration activity like sprinting or jumping, that mostly utilizes an energy system in your body called the ATP CP system, so creatine phosphate. All right, so creatine is an energy substrate that your body actually creates by itself. Okay, so it's present in our bodies already. What we're doing when you take a supplement like creatine is that you're actually taking more into your body then, and what you're trying to do is essentially saturate the cells in your body so that you can get a bit of a performance increase from having more creatine there. What this looks like in terms of the results that you get, it really varies from person to person, but usually you could expect to maybe get an extra few reps at the end of a set. So maybe you're using a weight where you would usually only be able to get 4 or 5 reps, and depending on your response to taking the creatine, you might be able to get 5, 6, 7. It really depends on the person. It's probably to do with the amount of creatine that you already have in your body. Some people will get a bigger response from this. I know some people who've taken this before and they said, look, I really didn't notice any difference whatsoever. They just stopped buying it, which is fair enough. So it's not necessary at all. If you're someone who's really into trying to progress your strength levels in the gym, it can give you a slight edge. A little bit pricey, kind of like the whey protein, but it has been very well studied and shown to improve performance consistently. So creatine, that's number 2. And the last one that I bought, vitamin D supplement. Okay, so this is, I don't know, Solgar is the name of the brand. It really doesn't matter too much as far as I'm aware. Most of them are probably sort of similar quality, but vitamin D is a really important one to get if you're living in a rainy, cold country like Ireland that doesn't get a lot of sunlight. We would usually get vitamin D from the sun if we were getting enough sunshine, which we don't in this country. So vitamin D is a really important one for Irish people or anybody who's living in sort of a cloudy country that doesn't get that much sunlight. So what this helps with is calcium absorption is one of the big ones. So we've all heard before that calcium is really important for strong bones, strong teeth, that sort of stuff. But if you're not getting enough vitamin D in your diet, you actually can't absorb the calcium as well. So that's one of the things that's really important for healthy skin as well. I think it has some neurological positive benefits as well. But it's an important one to be getting living in a country like this. So that's the extra one that I got. Depending what brand you buy, you're probably looking at spending somewhere between like maybe, I think this cost me about £7, and there were some other brands in the shop that were sort of up to €15. So basically we have 3 supplements here now. Put that down so that you can see. You got your creatine, vitamin D, and whey protein. Another one that there is some evidence could be useful is fish oil. I take fish oil as well. I just didn't buy it today, but I usually take fish oil in the morning. Really, there's not a whole lot else. Certainly where training in the gym is concerned, supplements are so low down on the list of things that you need to be focused on to get results that I usually don't really like to talk about them. But people ask me about them a good bit, so those would be the three that I would recommend, and most of the sort of competent nutritionists and sports scientists out there tend to recommend as well. Okay, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments or DM me. Hope you enjoyed the video.